One of the most important things that one should have before we start is a mock-up, or, in other words, a sketch of some sort, whether it be on paper, paint, Photoshop, or in one's head. Here is my examples of my mock-ups. The next thing we want to do is create a folder where we will be adding all our content, for example, images, folders, files, music, and video. What I am doing here is creating a folder named website, and in it I am creating two folders, assets and images. Notice how I'm not using any uppercase letters. This will prevent errors or missing files as we work forward. Now the fun begins. Launch Dreamweaver. There we want to click on Site, then click on New Site, type in your site name, in my case, Burning Monkey. Now in the local site folder, click on the folder icon located here. Find your folder. In my case, it is located in my documents. Then it's a folder named Website. Once you are inside the folder, click Select. Notice the change of the local site folder. Now click Save. The next thing we want to do is create our main page, or the page that will demonstrate our content. Right-click in this area of Local Files. Now click on New File, and name this file index.html. Note, the reason we named our file index.html is so our folders won't be seen. Web browsers and FTP servers look for this file name. Now, we want to double-click the file we just created. All we will notice is a white canvas. Next, we're going to click on Window, then click in Workspace Layout, and finally click Classic. Note, this will allow us to work with Dreamweaver in a simpler way. If you are using Dreamweaver CS3, skip this step. If you use Illustrator or Photoshop, this is how we export to Dreamweaver. This is how we export from Photoshop to Adobe Dreamweaver. I'm going to go to File, Save for Web and Devices. Then, instead of selecting GIF, we select PNG 24. Then, we hit Save. Select our folder, in my case, it's located in my documents, the website folder, assets, and name the file, in my case bmmockup.png, and click Save. This is how we export from Adobe Illustrator to Adobe Dreamweaver. We click on File, Save for Web and Devices, select our PNG, click Save, select our folder, in my case, my documents, website, our assets, and type in our file name, in this case, bmmockup Illustrator. Click Save. If you are importing a scanned document, open your scanning utility program, in my case, Epson Scan. Then, click on the Preview button. This will allow us to view the document and make any adjustments. Once the scanning has finished, we should see a crosshair or a plus shape for a cursor. Now we select the area we want. However, you can skip this step if you want to scan the entire page. Next, we select the resolution. I recommend somewhere between 400 to 200. Note that the higher the resolution, the longer the document will take to scan, and the bigger the file will be. Since this will be used as a template, a low resolution is best. Next, we click on Scan. Select the destination, in my case either my documents or my pictures. I prefer my pictures. Select the file format, so click JPEG, and click OK. Next, I check to make sure the scanned image looks right. Now that we checked it, we open our website folder, in my case located in my documents and website, then my assets folder. Now just take your scanned document, drag it, and drop it into your assets folder. Now we are ready to work in Dreamweaver. We go back to Dreamweaver and we check out our local files located here and click on the plus symbol next to our assets folder. We'll find that all our files are here. And now we can simply drag and drop, click OK, and we now see our mockups. Now we can do this with any of the mockups we created, whether it's Photoshop, Illustrator, or our scanned image. I will be using this scanned image to demonstrate that even with a bad sketch, a great website can be created. I will first start off by clicking here to zoom out and hit Fit All. This will allow me to see the entire canvas. Next, I will go to Layout and use the Draw AP Div tool. Now notice that when the Draw AP Div tool is selected, our cursor becomes a crosshair. We simply click and drag to create boxes where our content will be placed. Notice how my lines and boxes are not straight, but that will not be a problem. I will simply use the built-in ruler tool located in the View, Rulers, Show. Notice now that we have two rulers, one on the left and one on the top. We simply click on the ruler we want to use and drag it to our desired location. In my case, the horizontal line located here. Now we do the same thing. I will click and drag, click and drag. And now that we have our rulers placed, we simply click on the Draw AP Div tool, click and drag. And now we have a placeholder for our content. Because my boxes are not straight, I can simply click on the AP div I just created, right click, copy, click away, paste, and now we have a copied AP div. Or I can simply move the rulers we currently have click again on our Draw AP Div tool, click and create. Last but not least, I will draw the AP Div for our logo. And also, I'll draw an AP Div for the line that goes across. Now before I delete my mockup image, I'm going to click on this bottom AP Div. Here on the background color, I'm going to select black. Then I want to preview it. I click on this Preview Debug in Browser, Preview in Chrome, click Yes to save changes to the index, and there we have it. Our bar line is there. We cannot see our AP divs yet because we haven't set any content inside. Now we can close this. Using Photoshop, I will quickly create content for my AP divs such as my logo and the images below. I will do the same to the other AP divs, starting with BM Weekly. Notice the file is different. It is bmweekly.bmp. This file type is not previewable using Dreamweaver, as you will notice here. Notice this weird icon. Now we zoom into this icon, we notice that it's an image that is broken. However, when we go to preview it in our browser, it's there. Also notice that the size of the image is larger than our AP div. A way to address this issue is to get rid of our image we just added, have our AP div selected, click on this icon, click on image placeholder, type in a name, in this case BM logo, BMP, and for the size and the height we use this as a reference, which is 223 and 323, BM logo, BMP. Okay, and now simply click, drag, and drop it into our AP div. Let's click on our inside our AP div, and where source is located, we can either point to the file or browse to a file. I'll use point to a file for our convenience. We simply click and select our file, in this case bmweekly.bmp. You'll notice the same icon shows up. However, this time the picture is restrained to this image size. So now when we go to preview our image, we'll notice that it shows up and it's the same size of it as our AP div. So now we do the same thing for the next image. Now, notice that the next image I will be using is simulation.jpg. This is also different from PNG. So I will simply click, drag and drop inside our AP div, type in a name, in this case Simu, and notice how the AP div resizes itself to the size of the image. And also notice that the image, unlike before where the BMP image was not viewable, this image is. So we have two options. We can either resize the image here like so by clicking from one corner to the other, or we can undo that and click on the image in our center in the image. You notice the height, the width, and the height, and we can resize it, typing it like before. So like before, we have 233 by 323, so we do the same thing. 233 by 323. Now we have to do the same thing for our games and the bottom logo. Let's go ahead and drag and drop, name this BM underscore games, and quickly resize this. Just from corner to corner, pitch it, and now B8. So get that bottom logo, drag and drop, click OK, resize, okay, looking good, preview, and make sure everything's there. Yep, everything's there. Now we notice that we're missing a background color, so we can finally get rid of that back image. Just click and hit the delete button, and now we can see that it's pretty clean. We'll hit preview and we'll go ahead and check it out. As you can see, we're missing a background color. It's missing that background. So we can just go ahead and close this. So in order to add a background color, we're going to right click, go to page properties, and now that background color, we're going to click that and go ahead and select the color. We could use a background image, which all we have to do is click browse, but I like to use a color. It loads the page a lot faster. So we can click on this world icon and it'll brings up this palette that you can select. Go ahead and apply it. Hit OK. We can finally create our sub pages that will link to our main page. For example, BM Games, Simulations, and BM Weekly. We have two options. We can either create a folder within the folder, or we can create the page inside our main folder. I'm going to use the first method. Just click on this folder, right click, click new folder, name it BM Weekly, hit enter. Now go ahead and right click, click new file, and type in BM Weekly. But because this is a folder, I'll name it index.html, hit enter. Go ahead and double click, and as you can see we have the blank canvas again. But now what we can do is we can click on this image here for the BM Weekly. We go to the link source here, and we are going to point the file to our index file. And now when we click on preview debug in web browser, when we preview it, you'll notice this cursor goes from a cursor icon to a linking cursor icon. Now when we click it, it'll take us to that blank web page. And we also notice the URL takes us to documents, website, BM Weekly, the folder we just created, and there it says index.html. We're also going to take into account untitled documents. Now there's an easy way to fix that. Here it says untitled document. We'll name this untitled document title refers to this page we are on. So we are on the main page. So we'll name this burningmonkey.net. And go to file, save, BM Weekly index.html, we'll name it BM Weekly, and save it. And now we go ahead and preview in Chrome. We'll notice it says burningmonkey.net, and when we go ahead and click on our BM Weekly, I'll say BM Weekly. We'll do the same thing for simulation and being games. Now for simulation, I'll go ahead and close this folder up. We'll click on this the main folder, right click, new file, and name it simulation. And we'll double click and we'll title it simulation. Hit enter and go ahead and save it. We'll do the same thing as before. We go ahead and click in the image and we use the point to file in the link, and there you have it. And now when we go to preview the website, yes, the image as well, it hovers to a linking cursor, and there it takes you to simulation. The only difference here in the URL is that it takes us to documents, website, and simulation. So it's no longer in the BM Weekly folder because we put it outside in the main website folder. Let's assume that for some reason the link does not work, or that it won't work. To address this issue, we can simply go to here, to this drop down menu, and we select draw rectangle hotspot. And now let's do it for here. We can drag and click how big we want, where we want our linking hotspot to be. So now when we go to preview in Chrome, yes, you'll notice where our hotspot is, somewhere in between here and here, and this will not blink until we get to our center here. And we can also resize this, make it bigger, and we link it by clicking here, point to file, simulation, and now when we go to preview, yes, you'll notice that It'll take us to simulation. I would like to thank you for watching. Feel free to comment. If you have any questions, subscribe, like, follow me on Twitter at BurningNet. Find my Facebook page by searching Burning Monkey, or go to my website at www.burningmonkey.net. Thank you.